No
First
pressure.
Zoom, then the universe. Excuse me, first to Facebook, then the universe.
Nice.
So if you weren't famous yesterday, you're going to be very famous today. All right, fantastic. Ethan Penrose, welcome, my friend.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's great, 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 great. Appreciate you taking the time. It was great seeing you in prospecting school. You've come a long way. Remind me right now. I couldn't figure out. You're 20 or 21.
I'm 20.
You're 20.
Yeah.
When will you be 21?
90 days or less, June 13th.
Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a
Good
big one.
stuff. Well, that's great. Excellent. So, Ethan's father, Jason, is a top agent in the Century 20, in the Mike Ferry organization, does a terrific job. You guys are stationed out of where?
Uh, Arizona, so specifically like Phoenix, Scottsdale.
Okay, fantastic. Very, very good. So why don't you give me, before we get started, a little Reader's Digest version of your story um, before we get started. How's that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I began kind of in sales when I was in elementary school, actually. I wanted a new skateboard, I wanted an Xbox, and all those, sorts of fancy things. And my dad said, "Well, go out and get a job. You can't get a job at 11, 12 years old." So I door knocked all my neighbors and offered like pet services. So if they had a dog, I would dog sit, do sorts of things like that. So that's where I got to know what door knocking was and sales was, and just asking a lot of questions. And then I branched out later on in the school year, like around sixth, seventh grade. I would sell snacks to like all the kids coming out of school. So I'd go to business Costco and I'd buy like a bunch of bulk chips and candy and stuff. And there were some moms and dads who were not happy with me. Do you have a permit? Things like that. But I made good money there. And at in eighth grade, I was counting like thousands of dollars in cash up in my room just from working hard and doing like sales sort of things. And then I graduated high school and I thought, well, I don't want to be a doctor or a lawyer. I want to be in sales. And well, my dad's in sales and he makes a lot of money selling real estate. So um, I dropped out of college. I quit my job, got my real estate license, and pretty much burned all the bridges. And that was about 2 years ago.
Fantastic. So you graduated high school at 18 or so?
Yeah, yeah, 18.
Right. And how were your folks with you quitting college?
Well, first I didn't tell them. So, with my father, and I'm gonna be honest here. You don't have to pay for rent when you live in a home if you're going to college. So I did the whole college thing for 6 months just while I got my license. I had a nest egg set aside from my previous food service job so I could pay my car payment, my car insurance, my gas, things like that. But I really just kind of burned the bridges and said I got 6 months at this community college to learn these scripts and start making these prospecting calls and get the gears turning, or I'm back in food service, and that's an entry level job.
Interesting. Okay, so what happened when dad found out?
Well, I didn't tell him until I started making him a lot of money. I said, "Hey, by the way, I know I had five closings this month." He said, "Yeah, that's really great." And I said, "Yeah, I'm not doing college anymore." He said, "Okay, you had five closings this month. You're doing good." Um, you know, they didn't have a
All
problem
right.
with it. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Well,
yeah.
good. Excellent. Good job. So you started with your dad. I mean, a lot of agents think, or this is what goes through my head when I hear agents, parents are in the business that they're handing the kid deals, and you're going out and doing
Ah,
those deals. And
nepotism.
yeah, you've heard that story, right?
I have heard that story. Yeah, my dad told me that'd be a problem for some like down the line. People would say stuff like that because I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but my father got into real estate the exact same way I got into real estate. Is
Interesting.
his father was running a team with his business partner, a real estate team. This
Uh,
was in the historic district of downtown Phoenix. So you got like Palmcroft and Canto Palmcroft, like homes built in the 30s. and he got started selling property like that on his dad's team. So there was a lot of agents that saw that and that, did not care for it and claimed there was a lot of nepotism and things like that happening. So I kind of mentally prepared myself for that, but it hasn't really been an issue.
Because you're doing the deals yourself?
Yeah, I think there's really no way for any agents on the team, at least that know me on our team, to see that I'm being handed anything because all the appointments I set out are the same leads they're calling. So we have like a group chat where we kind of send out, listing appointment set, buyer appointment set, buyer contract signed, listing signed, and they see that I'm just calling the same expired, canceled, for sale by owners that they're calling. So there's nothing
Right.
really to say, there's no evidence, you get to take a look, but none of it's handed to me. That's for sure.
Now, that's kind of common with the children of superstar agents
Hmm.
that you do the business this way. Have you put together a mastermind group of guys and gals that have parents who are superstars?
It's a great question. No, I am in a mastermind group of other people in their 20s, young guys like myself.
Uh,
But none of them are have parents that are
Connect
superstars.
with me uh, after this or later, and I'll give you some names of some people like that that you should probably connect to. Some are a little bit older than you are now,
Yeah.
but they started very similarly. It would be very interesting to interview, maybe I'll even do that. I interview a group of you people. There you go. There's my next phone call. All
Yeah,
right.
that's a
Good job.
genius idea.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bravo.
Good stuff. All right, we can end now.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan, good things. So you were brought up, your dad's a big MFO guy, right?
Yep.
So you were brought up with the scripts, with the dialogues, what to say, how to say it from that perspective. So
Yeah.
you don't really know much different than that program.
No. I mean, I hear about these other coaches, but I don't recognize their names. Like I've never watched them. I might have scrolled past them on social media, but I really like to just keep my focus on one thing, and that's Mike Ferry. It's so simple.
Got it. Got it. Well, good. Excellent. So how'd you start with this thing? I mean, what were the activities? You know, did you just hold open houses and get all kinds of business or
I've never held an open house in my
interest?
entire life. Never held.
Really?
I walked into one in my neighborhood because I was curious to see what the neighbor's house looked like. It wasn't even a nice house, but anyways, so the way it got started was I was calling my father's past clients as I was getting my real estate license. So I hadn't even got licensed yet. I couldn't talk price or commission or anything like that. All I could
So
do was ask for referrals.
that was an hourly job he had you doing.
Correct. Yep. So I would do it from about 8 a.m. to about 6 or 7 p.m. I think my first day doing it, I made like over 50 contacts, had like so many conversations. I was so gassed that at the end of my last call, I said, "In Jesus' name, amen," instead of goodbye. And my dad's like, "Okay, it's time to stop this. Get off the phone. Like you made enough calls today." And then I went to bed at like 6 o'clock at night. I was tired, but
Oh,
that's how I got started.
so just as a point of information, I think you told us at the retreat about something that I had never heard before, that there's actually a cutoff time on, is it Mojo or Arch Agent?
Yeah, it's Mojo. So, I mean, you can only dial till it's legal, in your state. So in Arizona, it's 8 o'clock. So when you dial up until 8 o'clock, if you're dialing a list of hundreds of contacts, you'll see that number almost like on a stopwatch. You see like the milliseconds running super fast. It'll do that all the way up into the max contacts for that list, and it'll kick you off the dialer.
Really?
And that's the
Uh,
best way I can
I
describe it.
wonder if anyone else here knows that they were dialing up until 8 or 9 o'clock at night in their area and then got kicked off. How often does that happen to you?
A few times a week, especially when I like to hit the expired super late because some of them are at work by the time you call and they don't have time to pick up their phone during the day.
So you're calling at night.
Yeah. I mean, in the morning and at night, but I try to hit all the bases. cover
Smart
all the
move.
bases.
Good. Okay. So how did you learn the scripts and dialogues? You just memorize them or what?
No, not exactly. So I know a lot of agents start out by like handwriting their scripts or chanting their scripts in the mirror, things like that. I got started by heavily practicing my scripts, role playing my scripts. So a lot of agents that might be even in this call now from Mary Rahman's team in Whittier, California. She's a broker. I role play with a lot of her agents. So I role played with her agents for probably 2 to 2.5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, for the first like I don't know, 9 months I was prospecting. So it was a lot of role play, but it got me really familiar with the scripts and things like that.
Wow, fantastic. Excellent. What about product knowledge? Not
Product knowledge.
knowing the listings.
Oh, like knowing the listing process or the listing presentation.
No, knowing the inventory first.
Oh, well, that to me was really simple. I mean, I always did really well in math compared to like reading and things like that. So, I pull those stats every Monday for the whole week.
Uh-huh.
That way, I have something to talk about with not just my past clients, my centers of influence, but with expireds. You know, people that say I want to wait. Well, that's always an option. Days on market are higher than they were last week, and they're continuing to rise. So waiting could cost you. And then, you've always got things like that.
Got it. Okay. Did you ever get out and preview property at all?
I mean, I showed buyers that called on my listings, like sign calls, but I
Right.
never really went out and previewed property. I mean, we service a really large area. It's like, 45 minutes to an hour in all directions of our office.
Okay.
So, if no, I don't remember ever previewing property.
Okay.
Online I did. At listing appointments I did.
You're a pretty analytical guy, right?
I can be, yeah.
So what personality style would you say you are?
I would say I'm a driver under pressure, but
Okay.
normally I
Uh,
can be just very analytical.
Okay. So analytical and then a driver under pressure. So
Yeah.
the three things that Mike Ferry says motivate us, um, we're talking about security, money, and recognition. What do you think is your hot button there?
Um, Definitely, I would say money. Recognition's great, but that only lasts so long. Money is something I can kind of control. Um, and I love making money. I mean, there's so much that you can do with it. Just recently, over the weekend, I went to Colombia, by myself.
Wait, wait,
And
wait, wait, wait. You just got on an airplane, flew to Colombia, turned around and came home?
No, I just didn't turn around right away. I was there. So I left Thursday night after the productivity school, was gone all
Uh-huh.
weekend, got back on Monday night. Um, and had a great time. I got to tour a bunch of, historic areas I've always wanted to go to. And it made me, it's something you can't do when you don't have money. And I think that's what really motivates me is having money, being able to travel, things like that.
You. So what is it about Colombia that motivated you to go there? I have money and I never wanted to go to Colombia.
Well, it hasn't been very safe, like 20 years ago up until recently. So I don't blame you, Neil. With your money too, you're probably going to really nice places. But there's a lot of history there, kind of about the industrialization that happened in Colombia and how that was really taken over when they started exporting a lot of their business to China and that what that did to their economy. And then, the whole drug war that happened in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, there's just so much that happened in Colombia. I think there's a lot of history there, and that to me is really interesting.
Great. So what's the next place you're going for the weekend?
I'm going to Hong Kong in October with my mastermind group. And
Interesting.
that's going to be exciting. Yeah.
So is this a mastermind group that you do um, in your office, your phone calling, etc., the 20 something group, or is it a different kind of mastermind group? How'd you set this up?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the average age of a realtor, as everyone here knows, is about 55 years old. So there hasn't been anybody my age in our office in a long time. So these are agents these are agents from out of state. So two of them are in Florida, and the rest are in Canada, like Ontario area.
So these are agents you've met through Mike Ferry,
Yes, they're all in Mike Ferry coaching too. That's one thing that we all value is that we're all in coaching, we're all in Mike Ferry, and that's how we all kind of got connected. And
like-minded.
in fact, I can tell you the story. You know DK from Canada, right?
Of
Yeah,
course. Huh?
yeah, a wonderful guy. He introduced me to, I think, might have been his nephew, his cousin, or maybe just a good young friend of his named Andreas. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's also out of Canada,
That's
and
why
he's a
DK is known as DK.
yeah, exactly. Yep, that's the guy he introduced me to, the young man. He's also Greek. So I got joined up with that mastermind group like a year ago.
Uh-huh.
It's been really good. So they're all young guys in their 20s.
So mostly guys, or are there any women?
And there's no women. No, it's just guys so far. I
So
don't know
is
many
it
young
is it
women.
you haven't found any,
Yeah, I
forgive me,
would say.
young women that are making money?
Yeah, I know there was a few I met at retreats, but they haven't got licensed yet. They're kind of like dabbling their feet in college still. They think they still want to go the college route.
Oh,
So there
interesting.
there are a few that I've met, but they just haven't really gotten into it yet. Yeah.
Um, one of the most successful young women I have ever met, I'm sure you've met her, and she was very young, like you at when she started, was Brienne. You know her?
Of course, Brienne
Yeah,
Llewellyn, Brienne Green.
yeah, fantastic. Just an incredible young lady.
Hmm.
But I don't know a lot of others that are like that.
Well, I know Tristan Barker is pretty strong up in Redding, California.
Uh,
I've role played with her before.
Josh's daughter.
Yes, yeah. She just works more the buyer side of things.
Got
So
it.
yeah.
Got it. So you said you were working buyers in the beginning. I want to shift gears for just a second. You were working buyers, more buyers in the beginning, or buyer sellers?
Really, it was just a lot of calling expired, canceled for sale by owners and setting listing appointments for my father and for other agents on the team to go out and
Okay.
take listings. Then it was me working the buyers off those listings I helped them take.
Got it.
So they would give me the buyer the buying side. I would get 25% on the listing side.
Okay.
And I just started working those people because I know they're motivated. I know that we got them at a good price. It's going to sell and they're going to need to make a move. And so to me, they were the easiest people to work with on the buy side if I just worked the listings.
So let me ask you a question. Let's shift gears a little bit here. Uh, you started with a team. You got nothing for free to speak of, except opportunity.
Hmm.
And you didn't get it for free. You had to work for it. Because
Hmm.
if you were sitting in the chair and not generating, they wouldn't have kept you around very long, correct?
Nope.
Yeah. So what if you didn't have the team? Because I get that question all the time. I want to be with a team, or I want to be by myself, or I don't want to share any money, or, it. Give me some of your thoughts on that.
Well, I think you really have to look about what it would be like without a team. And without a team, you have a lot of responsibilities. You don't have a lot of free time to go out and find new business. I think not having a team for some people really holds them back in their production because they get really tied up in each listing and each buyer, and it kind of pulls them out of just the generation part of the business. So for me, my job's really simple. It's practice the Mike Ferry sales system every single day, verbatim. Call people, set appointments, take listings. That's it. I mean, it doesn't require a lot of meticulous, um, you know,
It doesn't take
doc.
any brain surgery to fix it.
No, it doesn't. I mean, as long as you role play every day and you call consistently, having a team, they give you someone a transaction coordinator that can handle the offers and the negotiations and things like that, where you can just focus on the producing side of things. And I don't mind giving up, 50% of my commission for that. I can do way more with the assistance and the guidance of the team, at least in early in my career, than I could if I just decided to go a solo agent. I know solo agents my age in my market. They suck. No
They,
offense.
and they're
They just they,
starving to death,
they're
right?
starving to death. I'm taking their listings from them at listing appointments. They're going on the same appointments I'm going on, and I just pull track records, you know?
Right. But you didn't have a track record to begin with, but you had the practice, the skills, you knew what to say and how to say it at a really high level. I'm curious, a couple of years into this, are you still practicing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm still practicing for at least an hour and a half a day.
Oh, that's interesting. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good
hmm
job. So, somebody else knew. So what? So give me an idea of new agent. What would the path look like if it could happen? What would be the best path? Your
Okay.
opinion?
For a new agent to take out of real estate school,
Yeah.
get directly involved with the Mike Ferry organization. I'm not being paid to say that. I'm being serious. There's so much to learn from them. And I think when you get into real estate, it can be very overwhelming. There's so much to learn and so much to do. And Mike Ferry really simplifies it. And for anybody that wants to be in this business for a long time, knowing how high turnover it is, you better figure out how to do this job in a simple way, or it's going to become very overwhelming, and you're just going to give up and quit. I think that's how a lot of agents end up leaving the business, is they never figure out how to simplify their job, and it's always to them this big task that requires a lot of forethought, when in reality it doesn't. It's not easy, but it is simple.
And then they're worried about making money because they're all involved in all this different aspects of the transaction. So they don't have time to prospect or learn how to prospect, right?
Nope.
Okay. So what was the growth on that?
Well, I mean, I think it's just again how I kind of got in the business. So I didn't get in like most people, where they don't get into Mike Ferry right away, or they start off as a solo agent, or they start off as doing buyers for the first 3 years, right? I got in a very untraditional way. I got in just basically being an ISA, an internet sales agent, where I set appointments for other people. And I learned those scripts. I learned what the sellers want, what they want to hear, what they expect from us, and then I just worked that. So not sure if that answers your question, but I think it's just I got in
No,
the
that's
business a
what that's
different
what
way
I'm
than most
looking for.
people.
I'm looking for the pathway. We hear it from Mike Ferry all the time. If you do this, you'll get that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, but not many people. You've learned to say no early on in your career, haven't you?
yeah.
No,
I've
here, do this. This is easy. No to, hey, let's go to lunch early. No to, let's stay out late tonight. You've learned a lot of how to say no.
Yeah, well, that's just what discipline is. That's what this whole industry is about. And that's what they were talking about at the productivity school we just went to, is the discipline this job requires. And it's the ability to say no to some people who want to go out late or who want to go out to lunch. I bring my lunch. I do meal prep on Sunday nights, so I have all my food and all my dinners and all my lunches prepared. 'Cause I don't want to have to spend the money, A, and the time, B, to go out and get food with people who want to chat. Like Mike Ferry said, if they're not going to buy a house from me, I don't want to have lunch with them. That's my motto.
Oh, wow. That's great. So let's stop for just a second. Any questions for Ethan or on Ethan, some of the things that he's talked about before we move into a little different information here?
I
Anyone?
have a I have a quick question. What
Sure,
do you do?
Chico.
What do you do for hobbies?
That's a great question. So still kind of a nerd. I got like a drone. It's like those really DJI, like 4K. It has like 6 miles of range. So like I'll go on top of my apartment complex and like fly it over to Paradise Valley and stuff. It's kind of fun. I also have like an RC car that goes like 60 miles an hour. And there's like a
Wait,
big,
wait, wait. What's an RC car?
okay, I can pull it over for you.
For us old people.
So like it looks, this
Oh,
is it.
wow.
It's currently under construction.
It goes
But
60 miles an hour.
yeah, yeah, I just like take it out to the desert and mess around with it just for fun on the weekends. So that's fun.
Did you take it to Bolivia with you?
No, didn't want to have problems getting it through customs.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
So
but I don't
that's
know.
a great question, Shakira. What about
Yeah,
books
the
that
next
you
one. So you say you do it on weekends. So you don't work on weekends?
Not on Sundays. I don't work Sundays.
Okay.
Nope.
Ethan, if I can ask you a question, you mentioned earlier that you're part of a group, you're in contact with agents, I think you said in different states. Is there a way for me to be part of that group or just to see what you guys discuss and see if I can learn something from it?
Yeah, who's talking? Is this Ken?
John
John,
Schultz,
this is
John
John
Sh
Shalizi.
Shalizi.
John Shalizi.
You
Okay.
know, I was actually here for another training. I kind of enjoyed what you were saying, so I kind of stuck with you guys here.
Well, welcome, buddy boy.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, excellent. Well, yeah, I'm definitely happy to talk to the guys about it. I just got connected with them through talking to agents at these MFO events. I think I met them at the Superstar Retreat is where I initially found them in Vegas. So have you been to those kind of retreats before?
I have not. I have not.
Okay, see that's your problem. You need to
Yeah.
go to one of those retreats and just start shaking hands because
Got it.
that's how I found them. But yeah, I'll definitely talk to them. What market are you in? You're in California?
I'm in California. I'm with we just got bought by or merged with Century 21 Masters. We were with the Alliance, Century 21 Alliance.
What city, John?
Castro Valley.
Got it. Okay, yeah, John, if you could put your cell number in the chat box,
Absolutely. Thank you.
Ethan will pick up on it. All
Appreciate
right,
it.
Perfect.
Thank you
very
so
nice.
much.
Just as a heads up, a lot of times because doing mastermind groups are very special, and the makeup of the mastermind group in terms of personality, the first thing they said that you have to be a Mike Ferry coached agent. It's that you want like-minded people. You don't want to have a conversation where, okay, let's talk about door knocking, and somebody else is going to Tom Ferry, and they, oh my God, no, the best thing in the world is social media, and then all of a sudden you don't have a meeting anymore.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
but let's talk about a big, giant open house.
Yeah, I know for these California agents, those are more common, but I don't know anybody in Arizona that wants to do that.
Especially in the middle of the summer, right?
Oh my God. No, gracias.
Okay, got it. Okay, any other questions before we move on here?
Have one.
Sure, go ahead.
Hey, Ethan, so can you expand on when you said learned what the sellers want?
Yeah. For me, it's kind of something I learned by calling a lot of sellers, and not only that, but role playing seller scripts, the expireds, the canceleds, the withdrawns, the for sale by owners, things like that. All sellers just want to know four things or three things. They want to know how much you can sell their home for, how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, and what it will require. So I learned that the faster I could just make that point clear, the more people I'm gonna attract and be able to work with, the more listings I can take, the more yeses I can get. So once I learned to speak in that language of, I know what your home is worth, I'm confident I can sell it in the next 45 days, 30 days, whatever the average days on market are. The more appointments I was able to set, the more people I was able to generate in my pipeline.
The Ron Cronin system.
The Ron Cronin system. He's my coach. So yeah, there you go.
He's mine too. I just played with him about it yesterday. So yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good stuff. So go ahead, Josie.
Could you put your contact information in the chat box for us, Ethan, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
Yes, some people might even want to send you a referral.
I would not mind that.
Okay, good job. So, Ethan, what's your superpower, buddy?
My superpower, I would say it's probably my persistence, in the face of getting said no to a lot. It sounds glamorous, when you talk about, oh, I called till 8 o'clock and you get to watch the thing. It's a cute story to tell, but it's not like that in the real world, you know. I think it requires a lot of a strong mindset to do this job that not many people really talk about. So I think my superpower is just that, being able to persist even in the face of not getting a listing.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's 8 o'clock at night. You've been calling all day on and off, whatever the routine is, and you don't have a listing. You might have had an appointment or two, but you don't have a listing. You don't feel that good about it, huh?
No, you feel like what I just do with my day. Like, did I do any? Did I make any money today? Was this a productive day? Was I wasting my time by coming into the office? You have these sorts of thoughts, and I think my superpower is just being able to like send them away, you know, and just continue on.
Right. Continue to say no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do you want
Right.
to go out late and play basketball tonight? Sorry, it's 8 o'clock. I'm going to bed. I gotta
I
wake
have
up
a-
early tomorrow.
I have a question, Ethan.
Go ahead, Linda.
Rochelle,
Rochelle, sorry.
how many calls do you make a day?
You mean like in Mojo or just in general?
Like, yeah, how many do you dial, like altogether?
Um, well, Mojo can really push out some numbers. So yeah, let me show you. I can
And
just
there's
pull up.
only so many like expireds and for sale by owners. Like, what is your other like main source besides? Because you're not getting all of your calls from like your personal database. You're doing a lot of like basically cold calling, right?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of hunting.
Okay,
So that's kind of how my father got started too. I'm just following his game plan. Like
sure,
if you know, like you know something works, why try to reinvent the wheel? So,
sure.
How many
um,
deals does your dad do now?
he's still doing like 75 to 100 listings a year or sales a year. He'll take over 100 listings.
How about the team?
The team will do another 100 to 150.
And let's throw your numbers out for just a second. We haven't talked about where you're at.
Hmm.
This is your second full year or third full year?
This is my second full year.
Wait,
Second
Neil, I
full-
didn't get my answers.
Don't
My
worry, I have
question's
I have an answer
Um,
for you.
Rochelle, persistence wins out. You get it.
Yeah, so as far as how many calls I make a day, it's over 1,000. But you have to take Mojo into account. You know, you can dial quite a few numbers in there pretty quickly, just by clicking around. So yeah, that's definitely over 1,000 between Mojo and then Follow Up Boss is the CRM that I use, that our team uses. So I'll definitely say I make more calls than Mojo though.
How many contacts out of those calls do you?
Out of the 1,000, it's
Mhm.
over 30
Okay,
consistently. Yeah.
okay.
I would get more contacts if I just called more people I know, but that list isn't fully populated every day because it's just like the people I haven't dialed in the last 90 days, they repopulate
Okay.
You
So
just
who do you
keep
call?
dialing the numbers.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have different area codes. So I don't just dial with one number. I'll hit the same list with 3 different numbers because some people will recognize 602, some will recognize 480, some will recognize 623 or 520 or 928. Those are all numbers that were within 45 minutes of our office. So I'll cycle through those, and yes, I'll make more calls. I'll end up making more contacts, setting more appointments.
So how many other area codes are you calling from?
I mean, I can call from 5.
You can call from 5. And so you're calling from 3 to 5 different area codes every day?
Yep, and the same people. So I'll run through the list with one area code. I give two contacts. I'll run through it again with another area code. I'll make 3 more contacts. Because people recognize different area codes. Someone in Scottsdale
100%.
will say, I'm going to answer 480, but somebody in Scottsdale is not going to answer 520. That's Tucson.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. And nobody answers 213. That's Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't dial from out of state numbers.
Okay, good. Josie?
So you're calling random, or are you calling just listed, just sold?
I'm talking about lists. So yes, it could be just listed, just solds. Those though, I typically only focus on like the street of my listing because again, we get 50 to 60 expires a day and about 5 to 10 for sale by owners. So I've got quite a few people to call in the morning already, not to mention the ones I didn't get on the phone the day before. So I've got hundreds of people to dial that are just expired, canceled, or a FISBO that by the time I get to my just listed just sold, I only need to dial 20 or 25 contacts of those to have time for everything else.
So,
Yeah.
Neil, I
Um,
have a question.
go ahead.
Okay, and thank you for sharing. So you do FISBOs for sale by owner and expires and cancel listings,
Yes.
and you do 1,000 calls.
Yes.
And that's
1,000 outbound.
and that's from 8 to
1,000
8.
outbound.
Is that from 8 to 8?
It could be from 8 to 6 some nights. Depends. Yeah. I'm not going to say I sit there at the office at 8 o'clock every single night. It's only a few times a week, but most nights I'll either have an appointment to go on or a buyer to take out.
Okay. Yeah, because I do it, and I average 400 calls a day, and
Outbound.
I get about 15 to 20 contacts.
How many hours are you dialing for in the motor dialer?
Close to 4 hours.
What's the 4 hours? And who are you calling?
Expires and cancel listings only. Only expires and cancel listings.
Okay, well here's a tip for you. Do you use a whitelisted number?
No.
Okay, I would look into that. You can get a whitelisted number in Mojo so that when you call, your name pops up.
Right. Okay.
That way people are like, oh, it's Lupe. Who's Lupe? Answer the phone instead of potential spam, because that can happen. I have to switch out my numbers every few weeks because you call with a certain number so many times, and the contact ratio goes down and you stop making as many calls. Also, this is kind of a small tip. When you start the Mojo dialer up and you dial the number, you put in the code. If it takes a while to say enter the code, like you dial the number and it's just quiet for like 5 to 10 seconds before it starts that prompt up, you know that's a slow server. Your dialer's not going to dial as fast on that server. So I'll hang up the phone, I'll hit new server, and I'll wait for another number to populate, and I'll redial it with that new number and that new server, and I'll make more calls per hour.
I've noticed that.
Not only is he not another pretty face, he knows stuff.
Definitely analytical. He's definitely.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. Neil, let me ask you one more question. Does Mojo give you the new number, or do you request it?
I think you can get them through our CRM follow-up bus, but I think in Mojo is where you verify the numbers you get. I think you can buy numbers from them, and you whitelist your number specifically through Mojo. It costs like $20 maybe. It's totally worth it. I'll tell you that right now.
Great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lupe.
Right.
Great question.
Ethan, that's awesome. So how many closed transactions last year?
25.
And so far this year?
14.
That's closed and pending so far?
Yep. Well, that's just closed. I have 3 pendings right now. I've had a lot of my deals.
So you're on track. So if you take 17, you multiply it times 4, because we're at the end of the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what,
68.
70? Yeah, 68.
I think it's 68, yeah. So my goal for this year is to do 63, 54 of which will come from sellers. The rest will come from buyers. So it's pretty heavily weighted.
And that'll earn you, on the deal that you have, how much money?
Minimum of 250,000. It's probably going to be more like 3, actually.
I know your dad would be pissed at me, but when do you plan on moving offices? Because I know I can make you more money.
I know, but I could go to California or New York City or any other market and have a higher price point, not work on a team, get a bigger split. But I really value my family, and I wouldn't sell them out.
At these numbers, we'll move your family too.
Yeah, I'll have to tell my dad that.
Yeah, not an obstacle. If Jason Penrose and his family want to move, allow me to help.
I don't think he'll ever come to California, but
Well,
money talks.
money talks, baby. Money
Yeah.
talks. Good job. Okay, so other questions for Ethan? Other
Yes,
questions?
Neil, I have a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Juan Carlos, sir.
Hey, Ethan, I think it's beautiful to see, man, but all the inspirational, what you're doing. More than anything, your work ethic, I was writing it down, but then you mentioned about your to have a strong mindset. And I wanted to ask you, what do you do? How do you maintain that strong mindset? Not only to do the job, but to stay away from distractions, especially at your age.
Yeah, it's a great question. So social media during the week, I don't have it. I don't have the apps downloaded. So I have accounts, you'll see me on Instagram or you'll see I have like a YouTube account, but I don't have those apps during the week. They're huge distractions. Huge distractions. If they're on your phone, you're gonna click on them, even without knowing it. I mean, where I learned this is I caught myself just on social media in the middle of the day without even like consciously realizing it. I just like my bird brain just naturally gravitated towards it. So that's A. B, it's your morning routine. It's the positive affirmations that you tell yourself in the mirror every single morning that shape your mindset for the entire day. That really sets the tone. I think people talk about having a good meal, a good breakfast, how that's going to give you a better day. The breakfast is for your body. The affirmations are for your mind. This is a very mental job that we have. And so you can eat all the good food you want, get all the sleep you want, but if you're not putting good things in your brain at the start of every single day, this job that requires a great mindset is going to be very difficult and very challenging.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Great point.
Thank you so much.
Great question. Let's see. Let me look through this. You were going to ask about the books. What books are you reading?
One more question.
Hi, Neil. Can I ask a question? This is Gloria.
Sure.
What keeps you and day out to do what
Sorry,
you
you
do?
broke up. What did you
Yeah.
say? It again, please. Oops.
What motivates you day in and day out doing the same thing?
So I don't like the word motivation.
Ethan,
I just don't like the word motivation because motivation is something that comes and goes. If you base your
well,
job
what
off
keeps you
motivation,
going then? What keeps you going?
I would say it's my routine and my habits.
What
So
keeps you going?
yeah, everyone in life has habits. Everyone has them, good or bad. We all have them. They're what shape our day. They're what put us on autopilot throughout the day. They're what get us up in the morning and what naturally gravitate us towards the bathroom to go, brush your teeth. I think the more you can control your habits is the better you can control your day. And I think, that doesn't really correlate with motivation, but that's what keeps me going is just having a set bedtime, having a set wake up time, having a gym schedule, having a food plan for the week, knowing what I'm going to be putting in my body, and just having it all be a habit, not something I have to consciously think about, just something I naturally do. Building those great habits, I think, will help keep you motivated because you'll have to not worry about so many things because they'll all be habits. You can focus on what's really important, which is, actually producing.
I see. Thank you.
There's a great book on it actually that I read. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. You should read that book if you haven't already. It talks
what
about
is it?
it talks Atomic.
Atomic Habits.
The Atomic Habits.
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat for you.
Atomic with an
Atomic.
A. Atomic
Yeah.
Habits.
Like the atom bomb.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Very, very good book. Absolutely. You bet.
I have a question.
Sure.
This is Hortensia. I wanted to ask, what is it? It's a little bit off, but what is it when you get that call and you are able to get a listing appointment? Who helps you with do you hire a TC or who's helping you, or are you prepping your CMA documentation?
Oh yeah.
Because if you're on the
I
phone,
prep
when do
all
you
of it.
have time to do all this?
So, I mean, I'm not sure how many listing appointments you've prepped, but I think after a while, the way we have it set up, it's very simple. We have a checklist, tasks that auto-populate in our CRM, just things that we do every single time we set an appointment. So I do all the CMAs, all the net sheets. I prepare all the listing kits. But for me, it only takes 10 minutes or less. It doesn't take me an
Wow.
hour. It doesn't. It just
So,
it can't. It can't take
Hortensia, this is when he was talking about the team. The team is his backstop from the beginning, and it had all the systems going. All he did over the last 2 years is polish them to what works for him, and he can be in and out. You know, you first of all, he knows the properties, he knows what's going on, he knows his scripts and dialogues. He doesn't have to worry about anything except knowing what the property value is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably 10 or 15 minutes in this market.
Yeah, it
Got
doesn't
it.
take.
Okay,
doesn't
so
take.
yeah, so the team is backing him up. So
Ay, Ed.
you can back yourself up.
Kasi
with
may
the-
meeting pa ako mula nung 9 o'clock ng ano, pupunta ako sa office pagkatapos
Hold
nitong
on.
meeting. Kasi kailangan kong i-scan ko yung buong package para hindi isa-isa.
Got it.
Sounds like she's
Okay,
sending a package
whatever.
right now.
Yeah. And besides that, Mrs. Lincoln, how'd you like the play? Okay. Hortensia, however, I'll say this to you, even if you're an individual agent without a backup, you could put this whole thing together with a little help from some of our systems, and it might take you 20 minutes by
Yes.
the time you get it together. Maybe it even takes 30 minutes, but that should be it. That makes sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Miguel,
Thank you.
how long does it take you to prep for a listing presentation now?
Takes me 25 minutes.
Right. And you're doing this yourself pretty much, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. All right. Ethan.
Yes.
So what do you want to leave with all these great agents that are just excited about your excitement?
Take the excitement and get back on the phone.
And with that thought, you do any doors?
Nope. Never. Not in real estate. Yeah. There's definitely people that do. There's definitely agents that will do door knocking, but most of the year it's pretty hot. And you can just reach more people over the phone. So my father, I don't think has ever knocked doors in real estate either. So again, that's just me taking his script book and putting it to action.
Good for you. Good job. All right, before we end up here, do we have anyone else that's got an incredible question that just I gotta hear?
Neil, I'm not sure if this is an incredible question, but
John will take it.
appreciate that.
Try
I'm
it.
just, curious to the book with the script book. I would like to get my hands on something like that.
Thank you for the segue. At 8 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday, we have a scripts class that actually I lead with Hunter Camwood and Jesse, and we're there every day. We guarantee you to have a role play partner.
Okay.
We've got 40 to 50 different scripts that we role play on a regular basis. You will love it.
Awesome.
All
I
right.
really appreciate that.
You bet. You
Can
bet.
you make sure I'm part of that group also?
Sorry?
Can you please make sure that I'm part of that?
I will send you an email. John, do me a favor, put your email in the chat box.
I did. I put
Oh.
my phone number and the email address there.
All right, perfect. I'll make sure that gets
Thank
done.
you, sir.
You bet. And anyone else that wants to do it, it's not only for John. We're
It's
there.
the best thing that ever happened since 2020.
You're very kind. What she means is that on March 18th, when they shut down California, we started this virtual office, and we haven't missed a work day in close to 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, we're there. And
Neil.
Ethan, we also have this, what we call open mic, that I would encourage you to come to. It's 30, 40 agents that are like this, prospecting, and everyone's muted except for one agent that's booked that 30-minute period. And what you're doing is you're prospecting, kind of showing off, if you will, for these peers. So you close a little harder, you do one more question, you have more energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. No charge, no obligation. It's just something we do every day at 9 in the morning from 9 to noon. So
Neil, I want to say something. I have joined from 8 to 9 o'clock.
yes,
I only saw one other person from Real Estate Alliance, and they're missing a lot. I really have and enjoy it.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. We think they're missing a lot too. But you can't make people drink. You just can't. You can lead them to the water, but you can't make them drink. Okay, so Ethan, so first of all, everyone unmute yourselves. Unmute yourselves. Let's go. Give them a big hand.
Yay,
All
Ethan.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan.
Bravo.
Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you.
Look at the
Thank you
smile
so
on his
much
face.
for all
Thank
that.
you.
Recognition.
so much,
Thank you.
Ethan and Ethan.
So
Be
touched.
honest. All right, so what we're going to do, Ethan, right now, if you have a hard stop, we certainly understand. But we're going to now, I'm going to go around the group and ask the question, what did you learn today? This is all going to be recorded, so if you have a hard stop, come back in, and we'll have the recording posted in a couple of 3 days, okay?
Yes. I have a role play call in 5 minutes, so I'll leave you guys here. But thank you so
Ethan,
much.
thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
buddy boy. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Neil. Thank you.
Thank
Take care,
you,
guys.
Thank you. All right, good stuff. All right, what did we learn from this young man today?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Explain what you're thinking.
He's 20 years old, and his press and his mindset and everything is more like I'm in my 50s, and I'm pretty much, I can get where he's coming from. I haven't met a 20 years old thinking that way.
Yeah, I understand. He's an old soul.
Yes. Well,
Very,
I was
very
gonna
good.
say
Great
that.
thought.
Yeah.
Good.
I think
Josie.
that-
Well, along that line, he has great insight. You know, he talked about habits, and the more the habits control you. You have good habits, and that you get a better mindset, which is so true. And that's what keeps you motivated. Your mindset, your positive habits every day,
Absolutely.
every morning.
Pretty
You
amazing
also,
stuff.
yeah, you
Go
also
ahead.
need to be, yeah, you also need to be disciplined. It's
very
really important.
disciplined.
This
Very
business is
disciplined.
about discipline and consistency.
Yeah.
Persistence.
And
After meeting Ethan, I felt like his blind faith in the system was like a pretty big superpower. Like he just believes in it, and the work ethic, I was kind of shocked because I sat next to him during the Ron Cronin production retreat, and he was all into it.
100%. But Rochelle, when you started with Melinda, you were trying hard. You had your focus. You would show up for some of our stuff some of the time, but it was really her consistency and her discipline that rubbed off on you.
Yeah, definitely. You
So
definitely.
how many deals did you tell me you had closed so far this year?
I just closed my 7th.
Your 7th
last week.
deal.
Very good.
7th deal so far this year.
Yes, correct.
That's fantastic. You're really 2 years in the business, right?
3.
3.
Yes.
Good stuff. So you're a product of working with a team, being focused on it, but you would have never been able to stay on the team if you weren't a great worker, great consistency, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think that there's something there, ladies and gentlemen. Good stuff. What else did we learn today?
I must say something. Just focus on Mike Ferry. With a lot of us, we go this way, and somebody else will say, "I'll teach you this," and then you're all over the place.
Shakira, that is totally true. I have been blessed that 50 years ago, through some way, shape, or form, I met Mike Ferry at a training class that he was putting on for a broker I was working for. And I followed him for the last 50 years. And those of you that have worked with me and for me You have never seen another coach or trainer in my company before, have you? Ruby, Josie, do you ever see another coach or trainer?
No.
That's it. Where do I go every time Mike's got an event? To a Mike Ferry event. I guarantee you, if God forbid Mike didn't feel good one day and he said, Neil, take it, I'd say, what point are you on? And go. Because that's how many classes I've done with him. And I would never hesitate. Okay? This is, I say this to my family all the time. All the money that I have, all the money that my family will have, all the gifts we have, started with Mike Ferry. Absolutely. Try it if you haven't tried it. What else? What else we learned today?
Make too many calls and too many contacts to get business.
So we need to make a lot of calls to get business, correct?
Yes.
Got it. Okay, absolutely.
I think it also starts with the person also. I mean, he mentioned routines. That's what made him who he is. I'm sure he had a privileged circle and he learned a lot from his dad, and that I'm sure helped him with mindset, and he's very mature for his age, of course.
No, absolutely. I have kids too that have been exposed to Mike Ferry.
Yeah.
No one acts like him. No, I love my children, don't get me wrong, and they're all very special in very special ways, but no one acts like him. Okay, with that discipline, that consistency, etc.
Yeah, some people are very special. No
Very
doubt.
special kid. Yeah.
I just wanted to also, Neil, if I can say, I do this part-time, and even right now, I don't think I will be able to do another deal for another maybe 4 or 5 months unless something falls on my lap, because I'm building a platform. I'm a developer, but I want to tell the people that are here to also look into AI. There's a shift. I think there's other tools that will help real estate agents automate calls and qualify people at the same time, and you only get the listing part of it. I mean, you save that much more time. I know Ethan mentioned a dialer, some sort of a mojo dialer, but I think technology has moved. It's moving very fast, and I think AI can solve a lot of can make things a lot easier for us.
Probably, but at the end of the game, been doing this for 50 years, seeing every change in the book.
Yeah.
Nothing ever takes the place of picking up a phone and talking to a person.
I agree. You're
Nothing.
Right.
Okay. In any of our businesses.
True.
Okay.
People business.
So continue to do that. Look at this guy. I think door knocking is better than phone calling at the end of the day. Okay.
Yeah.
However, this guy and his father are doing 100, 150, 200 listings a year with only phone calling.
Wow.
So it clearly can be done if you choose to get it done.
Why break something if it works? Yep, I agree with you.
Absolutely. Very good. Okay, what else did we learn today?
What I learned is that in order to hit those numbers, you need to call maybe 3-4 times and change the numbers when you call. I think that was key.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we need to match his energy or above. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Got it. Shirley, what did you learn?
I really like the morning affirmations, to get up and say, okay, I'm doing it today. I'm going to knock it out of the park. I like that.
Good. Absolutely. Start doing it now.
Yes.
What else did we learn today?
Surround yourself with the right people.
Exactly. I've been telling you that for years, Juan Carlos.
That's what we hear, man. That's the thing. And the other one is, I think he's very humble. And the way I see it is that he doesn't question it. He saw his dad being successful doing what he's doing, and he just followed it. He keep it just simple. He is not trying to mess up with it.
Right. I mean, he's very fortunate to have a dad that's doing that. But we all have, I won't call him a dad, but we all have Mike Ferry, and most of us would be consistent and follow him and his advice and suggestions on a daily, weekly basis. You know, the impossible can be done. So when you don't have a dad that's doing it, use Mike Ferry, adopt him. All right. I don't have anything else. Anybody else want to throw something in real fast? Let's see. Jesse, thank you, Neo. Put him on the list. Martin Zamora, I had to think a class about a calling have to be live. Sorry, I think we had a class about caller having to be live. Martin, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Okay. All right. Let me turn off the microphone and the live thing. Live stream.